everybody, look at our... It's like Barney. Hey, everybody, look at our shirts.
We just got off our long shift for the day.
That's right. We clocked out, and then we clocked into this podcast. Hey, everybody. Anna and Kaden here. You know us.
How's it going, everybody?
Hope you had a good month, basically. It feels like a month. It feels long since we recorded. Well, everybody, welcome to episode 4 of The Sip and Truth. Anna and I have intentionally gone out and done a lot of things leading up to this podcast, for the podcast, but also just for life, man.
It's been so fun.
I agree. I've really enjoyed since January going out and actually doing things.
I know.
It's really opened up me, because I usually I'm an introvert and I like to stay at home and not do anything. But yeah, I've really opened up my shell.
You have.
Very, very wise words from Anna. That quote I have is going to be on our merch. We're going to make mugs that just says "I have" on it. The Sip and Truth I have.
Let me say, before we get into like all the nitty gritty of what we've done, I just want everybody to know. Recently, I decided that I wanted to purchase a new bed.
Oh God!
And I don't know, but do you ever get like the itch where it's just like, I don't know, you look around, you're like, oh, that's just old and outdated. I just need something new.
Almost every day, yes. I love getting new stuff all the time.
Right? It just feels good.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me get a new bed.
How long have you had that bed?
I don't even know. For a few years. But it was also like one of those things where it was in the family and it was just given to me because I didn't have anything else.
Oh, like a hand-me-down.
Exactly. So It was just time to get my own mattress. It's time to get my own bed frame.
So where'd you get the mattress?
Wayfair.
Oh, our
Wayfair.
Sponsor today is Wayfair.
Jones, this case has us stumped. We've hit a dead end.
Another day, another crime scene. I swear if I had a nickel for every time I stepped over a chalk outline, I could retire and buy a yacht shaped like a giant rubber duck. But here we are, knee-deep in another mystery. I said, wait a minute, Smith. Let's think about this. What's the one place where everyone's secrets are revealed?
Of course, the bedroom.
Smith, take a look at this. The culprit left a clue behind. Look at the tag on this mattress. Wayfair. Unbeatable comfort guaranteed.
And there it was. It suddenly hit me like a sack of bricks hurled from a neighboring skyscraper. The pieces of the puzzle were finally coming together, and they formed a picture so ludicrously clear that it made me question whether I was still living in the real world or I'd stumbled into a vat cottage cheese. But hey, sometimes the lumps in life are what makes it interesting. Looks like our perp couldn't resist the allure of Wayfair's luxurious mattresses.
But Smith, why Wayfair?
Because, Jones, only a mattress this comfortable could seduce someone into revealing their darkest secrets.
Well, Smith, it seems like our work here is done. Let's head back and crack this case wide open, Jane.
Yeah.
Uncover the secret to a restful night's sleep with Wayfair. Cheers to you, Wayfair.
Thank you. Cheers. I got a mattress. I got that up by myself. Well, actually, my producer helped with that.
Okay. Yeah.
But the bed frame came in today, and that was a mission.
All right.
And I almost pulled my back out.
Really?
That thing is heavy.
I didn't know that you pulled.
No. What's great also about this is I said, hey, I text you. I'm like, hey, I do have somebody coming to assemble it. You're like, we don't need this. I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a little bit.
No
I'm
worries.
the manly burlesque man. I'm gonna get it up those stairs. I said, cool, great.
Yeah.
I love
Lift it with one.
I love for the fact that you showed up with the bag in hand. He's like, hold my hot dog. I got this.
It wasn't a hot dog bag. It was a 7-Eleven bag. Because little...
With the hot dog inside.
So I went to 7-Eleven because I hadn't eaten before, after leaving work. So
yeah.
Went to 7-Eleven, got a hot dog, put it in the bag, and then I said, hold
Yes.
my bag. There you go.
I like to think it was more of hold my hot dog.
A bag full of just loose
this.
hot dogs.
I'm gonna help this damsel in distress get this bed up.
Oh my God.
He put one hand under the box to push it up.
And here we go. This is the best part, everybody.
It's like, oh no, that's heavy.
Oh God! I just yanked my ear. Yeah.
But we got it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened from the initial. Maybe because I used two hands that.
It did not move.
Oh.
It was one of those things where I probably could have done it or had a few individuals help me do it.
Right.
But I just don't want to.
Yeah.
If I can pay someone to do it, let's just have them do it.
Yeah.
And they'll get the job done right.
Yeah, and is it still with Wayfair? Are Wayfair people coming here?
Yeah.
Whoa. So they might hear this podcast.
Yeah, I'll actually tell them about it, and then
You'll
see.
play it while they're here and be like, "Oh, what? Oh, what? Is this us? Yeah, we're talking right about you. We have a fun podcast. We have a lot of things to talk about. We have a lot of topics, and this might run over the hour runtime. I'm gonna say this could happen.
Oh wow! Okay.
Who knows? Our producer's shaking their heads like you cannot go over an hour. Okay, you got it. Let's start with the best thing right out the gate.
The most favorite thing that happened.
So, wait, what are you thinking of?
Are we thinking about fish bowls?
Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about that whole night in general.
Oh yeah, yes. It was great.
So, I guess I'll preface first that I did not want to see the Mean Girls movie. And
I thought you did want to see it.
No. So here's the thing. So I have seen the trailers, and I'm like, I know that this is going to be a musical. And I was like, yeah, this does not look good at all. But then later on, I had change of heart because, Anna's been opening up my mind more to be like, oh, let's go see movies that you're not really interested in. And so it then kind of changed the perspective of, okay, well, I'm going to text Anna and be like, well, you know what? I guess I'll see the Mean Girls movie with you if so. I wore a black leather jacket and I wore eyeliner. And I was like, I want to look the punkiest punk I ever could. Like, if I were in the Mean Girls universe, this is how I'd want to look.
It reminds me of that thing that was trending when it was like all like the emo kids and it was the hair to the side and they're like, tonight.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Dude, a little tangent here on the side. I was that kid. Like, growing up, I was the kid who, like, would go to Hot Topic, and I did own a pair of those black pants with the chains that, like...
I was thinking that. Yeah, I can imagine it.
I loved it.
All you needed that night was the chain. And it would have been it.
The chain for what?
Your pants.
Oh, okay.
Where are we going?
What would I need the chain for?
Like just to hold your wallet, maybe?
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay. No fucking clue what you're talking about. So... Gotta get back
you
on
guys
track.
know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
we know.
The long chain that was connected to the wallet that would just hang off the side of the pants.
I understand that, but why would I need it for Mean Girls?
Because you were basically showed up kind of like in
okay.
your punk phase.
All right, that's fine. Anyways, so...
Why did you decide to do that? That was totally unexpected.
Yeah, I just... sometimes I'm also trying to work on my self-esteem a little bit, but also just trying to... I love eyeliner.
Okay.
Like, I'm watching Love Island again, another Love Island plug here, but they had it like a punk night as well, and one of the guys, like, he's super attractive, and he's got like that. I'm like, I used to wear eyeliner when I was doing theater stuff, so I was like in junior high and high school.
Next episode, Kanan will be wearing eyeliner.
Yeah, I'll wear it the next podcast. That sounds good. All right.
We can both come in then in our leather jackets. I got a leather jacket. You got a leather jacket?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You have a black one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Can we also do your hair? Can we do the side swoop?
You want to do okay for that? You think that the viewers? You think the viewers would be interested in something like that?
Why not?
Would that help my self-confidence? I don't know. I feel like that would be something that, you know what? I think self-confidence also has to deal with the like making fun of yourself parts too.
Right?
Like, let's just have fun. Let's be silly.
Exactly.
Why not, everybody?
Why not?
So I showed up
to
the restaurant, which I can't remember the name of, but you do.
No, I don't.
El Granjero Cantina. Mm-hmm. So I show up, me and my one of our friends, Angelina, we're sitting there, and we met up with Brendan and Michael. They got there, and then Anna showed up, and everybody's like, whoa, what are you? We show up, and I'm just starting the story off. I don't really drink. Like, I never drink, except for, well, now when I do these podcasts to make it by.
But this is very light.
Yeah, very light stuff.
I've known you for a little over 2 years, and we have engaged in social events outside of what we do.
Yeah.
And you, I don't think I've really ever seen you drink.
Yeah, no.
Or do anything.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's just, I have this thing. Oh, there goes the dogs. I have this thing about, like, not being able to be in control of, of myself and not being able to feel like I'm, But anyway, and as we're about to share, you'll understand why.
Yeah.
So we get there, and this restaurant is pretty nice. It's decently priced, I think. But the most expensive thing are these fish bowls. And Anna, please talk about these fish bowls.
Yeah, so our friend Mikey, he had his birthday a few days before, and unfortunately a few of us couldn't make it. So essentially this is why we wanted to go out. We said, hey, let's go to this place. Let's get a fish bowl. We can share it.
Before the movie
So that it can make it more fun because why not? So they bring our fish bowls out, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
5 of us, yeah.
And we got 2 fish bowls first, and we actually slurped through those really fast. Actually, I was really surprised by you. You were just going to town, you and Brendan. Yours was done so fast.
I knew going in before the movie that I was gonna get as plastered as I could. And it didn't take that long. It took me a couple of sips, and really, that's all that it took.
Yeah.
And what was in it? It was like everything.
It was I feel, alcohol they had behind the bar. And this thing was huge. We'll put it up on...
yeah, we'll put it up on socials.
But you would just... And I remember every now and then you'd turn around and be like, oh, I'm drunk.
It got to the point, I could start feeling it maybe like 10 to 15 minutes after drinking.
Probably, right?
Yeah, and I could feel the front of my face start to become a little bit more numb. And I think I leaned over. I don't remember who I leaned over to, honestly. And I just was like, oh, my face. I can't feel my face.
Oh, it gets so much better.
Yeah.
We finished those 2. And then I don't know what came upon us all. We're like, let's just get another.
Yeah.
Let's just get one for the table. And
These fish bowls are $50 a piece, okay? $50. We're not fucking around. All right, so...
But the good thing about that is, I think our movie was... I don't remember. But either way, it was, I guess...
It was at 10:45.
Something like that. But I guess we missed last call.
Yeah, right.
And we was
but
like,
they didn't say anything.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, can we get one more fishbowl? And our server was like, oh, we just had last call.
We're like, damn it.
We're like, well, I'm going to have to see if the guy behind the bar can make you another one.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh man. He like turns around. Then he's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure he makes you another one.
Yeah, so
we're
we
like,
all applauded. It was like, and that's why we have to shout you out.
You're real.
And then we told... I remember this. While somehow in my drunken state, Anna's like, you should ask him, if he wants to be on the podcast, like mention him. And then I'm like, I'm too drunk. But then somehow I mustered the courage, and I was like, we have a podcast. You're like trying to be as sober as possible. We have a podcast. Can we mention you on it? And then he was like, oh, absolutely. Let's get the socials going.
Yeah.
And then, and also, on top of having drinks, who was handing out edibles?
Do you remember this moment that we had?
I do. Anna and I had a very special shared moment in that time. I don't know if we should share that for the listeners.
Why not?
Why not?
Who cares?
Yeah. Why not?
We finished our beverages, and then I believe one of our friends was just like, okay, who's ready to take an edible? And I don't know if I said this to you. Oh, I did. I think I turned to you also and said, hey, we can continue drinking at the theater. They have a bar there.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't think I can. Those drinks were $52. And I'm like, Kanan, I got you. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, as long as she's... like, my whole demeanor was like, no. She's like, I'll pay. I'm like, I'm in. You son of a bitch. I'm in. So then we had an edible. We shared one.
Well, no. So what happened...
We did, technically.
Well, technically. But I think everybody had one. But I know my limit. And I can't have a full one or else I would have been knocked out.
Yeah.
I said... I was supposed to get your half.
Right.
And you immediately just popped it in your mouth, the whole thing.
And I didn't know.
And Brendan was just like, well, I'm like, no, I don't want a full one. I just want a half. And I was like, and you're like, jokingly, like, here's half. And I literally took it. And you're like, no, don't do that. Don't eat it. It's okay. And I'm like, and you're like...
She ate it. I was so surprised. I was like, I've never done that with anybody ever in my life where it's just like taking something out of my mouth.
Okay, first of all, I didn't take it out of your mouth.
No, I took it out of my mouth.
Give me that edible.
Give me that. So
you were so drunk that you were just like, I can't believe he just did that.
But yeah, and then with the fish bowls themselves, like at some point someone was trying to hog them, and then the waiter accidentally gave us 6 straws. So at some point I'm 2 straw on it on that third fish bowl because I'm like, I want to get as much drunk as possible. So then we have drinks in us, we have edibles in us. I don't even remember how I got from the restaurant.
Oh my gosh. The way this guy was walking, I don't know if you guys remember last episode when we were talking about how he was just like, is anybody really gonna like me? I'm 6'4", but I'm really 6'3" because I have back issues.
Yeah, wait.
But how you were walking, I wish I can, like, cause you were complaining about your back on the way to the movie theater, and how you were walking was just so weird. I was like, please stop.
A little side note today. I was walking to work today, and I get to the front, and Ariana's there. She's on the front.
Yeah.
And then she says, stand up straight. And I'm like, oh my God. Wait, I'm walking. Oh, and then I was like, I didn't even realize I was walking, like leaning over, but
it was
thank you. Props to our number 1 listener, Ariana. Thank you for keeping my spine alignment in your thoughts. Anyway.
Stretch that 6'4" right there.
Nope. All right, so we get to the movie theater.
And I love how, like, the theater does this. Because, like, I feel like every time, like, there's a new feature movie, they always have, like, a feature drink. To go with it. So we saw, it was, like, the Mean Girls drink. I said, Kanan, we're getting those.
Whatever the hell was in it, I don't even remember.
And I don't know if you remember our conversation.
With the bartender?
So, like, we were just talking about making out, right? Making out with guys, making out with girls.
Oh.
And, like, the lady behind the counter, you should have just saw her making our drinks. And I'm like, have you ever made out? I think I said, have you ever made out with a guy before?
No, with a girl. You said with a girl.
And she's just like, no. And then, but yeah. And, like, I feel like with our conversation and whatever we were talking about, towards the end of it, she's like, maybe I do now. So it was so great because I think I told everybody, I guess no one really wanted to watch this movie. I should have figured it was going to be as bad as it was because the theater was empty when I ordered our tickets.
We can't even talk about the movie. We have to talk about how we got into the movie.
I think we were excited. Like, I was like, hey, guys, we got the theater all to ourselves. It's going to be great. Okay, first of all, we all get into the theater, I think, after everyone got their, like, you know, popcorn, whatever.
Sure.
And it was like children.
Right.
We were going up and down the aisles, up and down the stairs.
It was like we were 8-year-olds at a Paw Patrol premiere. We were like running around like, yeah, let's go. There's no one here. We're like sitting. So like at some point, so like I'm sitting. So I'm the first one in the theater. I'm already like tired. So I'm like laying down, almost like falling asleep because I'm like, ugh. And then y'all start coming in. Yes. And then we all start sitting in the same row. But then things go haywire.
Well, because, like, sometimes when I know I'm drunk and I'm starting to feel a little, I'm high. So I kind of get into a moment where I'm like, okay, I think I need to just be by myself for a second.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to make, and also I'm just, no. And then also, I think I also was thinking, if I fall asleep, I just want to be down here by myself just to fall asleep.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, popcorn's getting thrown at me from up above. They was like, Anna, what are you doing down there?
What are you doing? And then so like Anna's in the row in front of us, you know, and with AMC theaters, they always like, or any theater, they like tear down.
It was a really nice. That was a really nice theater for that movie.
Really comfortable. And maybe it was because of my, you know, like maybe I'm in the field.
No, it was like the feature film. Yeah. Like now that I think about it.
So then Anna's sitting by herself, and I see her, and in my drunken state, I'm like, Anna, and I'm like leaning over, and I'm just slowly like falling onto the seat next to her, and I'm just like hanging out. And we have a picture of that too. I think.
Oh, we have pictures, videos. Pictures. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so.
And then Brendan comes down, and then I think all of a sudden, so we're all three down there, and then all of a sudden the previews start coming on, and then I think there was an episode, kind of like this picture, Dune came on. Did you remember Brendan getting on top of like that flat pillar and was basically, or maybe I'm making this up in my head, but I feel like he was sitting on it like the guy from Dune was sitting on it.
What? No, I don't remember.
Maybe you were asleep.
I don't remember. I was never asleep. I never. Was that me? There's no way. I was never like asleep, was I?
I got some really good videos, and we'll put these up.
Well, you have videos of me sleeping?
I got video of you basically like this. We're in the theater.
Oh my God.
I'm currently at the theater waiting for Anna and them to show up, and we're gonna watch Mean Girls.
I remember that now because I sent it in our group chat in the A-list group chat. Oh my God! Don't do it! We have to. Why not?
Yeah, because I even think Oh, okay. So hold on before we go there. So all that's happening, and then I think you finally went up to the row.
Yeah.
And then it was just me and Brendan, and me and Brendan were sitting down there. Literally, the whole movie theater is empty.
Oh,
me and Brendan are just in these two seats.
These random two seats in the theater.
All of a sudden, these two people walk in, right?
This couple.
And
then as that's happening, I'm like, oh, they're going to send your seats. They're going to send your seats.
And they came and sat. They're just like, literally so serious. You're in our seats. And we're like kids. We're like, oh.
I'm like giddy and like, because like, when I saw them coming in, that's when I think that's when I got up and left because I was like, oh, here they come.
Right,
here they come. And so
I was like, I can't believe this just happened.
Out of all the seats in the theater.
But you made a video and you were and in that video, like, you're laughing. You're like, oh my God, Anna and Brendan just got kicked out of their seats.
Anna and Brendan got kicked out of their seats. It was pretty great because they were sitting in a row and it was only them, and just so happened to be the same seats that they. All right, I'm filming a video. You believe it?
Oh dear God! Oh, I remember that.
So the movie starts, and I think immediately all of us were just like, "What is this?" Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to love it so bad because I love the original. Yeah. I never saw Broadway, but I love the original. I was just really disappointed.
Yeah, I had not seen the Broadway, but I had seen the movie, and of course, classic. And I can't remember much, unfortunately. I can't remember much of the movie, but I just remember being so displeased with everything I remembered. The guy was ugly as hell.
Oh my gosh, I remember you guys saying that. They're like, ew, boo.
The main guy that she's supposed to be interested in is just like, who is this? Like, I don't know. So
and the whole time, and again, because like we were inebriated, in my head when I'm playing back, I'm like, if I was like keep in mind, other people actually started showing up to our theater. So besides those two people that sat there, there was maybe like 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
And we were so loud and obnoxious.
And rambunctious. I tell you, so like, I don't know what came over me, but I started doing this thing because Brendan got popcorn, and so like I would lean in and I would lean over to him and I'd be like, yeah, let me have some popcorn, and like he'd give me some and I'd just throw it at him. I wouldn't even like eat it, and I did that a couple of times. And so,
oh my gosh! Now that I'm thinking about it, I just remember maybe because of also this alcohol.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning of the movie, you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
And then
I booked it.
No, but you didn't get up and walk. You essentially got on all fours, and then we're crawling. We're crawling, and we're like, Katie, get up.
No way.
You crawled all the way. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my, so wait, so I was crawling on all fours, like
you like screamed out of your seat, and then you were on the floor.
Oh my God.
Crawled all the way out.
Oh, that's probably so. The next morning I wake up and I have carpet burn on my elbows, and I'm like, what the hell happened? That probably explains why.
Yes,
because I was like,
Kanan, get up.
There was another time.
I don't want to distract him. I'm like, oh no.
There was a time where you got up, I think, to go to the bathroom, and then I just laid down on the floor.
No,
I laid down.
But before you did that, do you remember what you sent me?
No.
I went to the bathroom, and then I didn't see it until obviously later. But you sent me a video, and you're like, Anna, I'm gonna record what you're missing so that you don't miss this while you're in the bathroom. And you legit were recording what I was missing when I was in the bathroom the whole time.
I don't even remember what the scene was. Oh, this is so bad.
It was the scene that's all over TikTok right now, where it's like right in front of that girl, right before she gets hit by the bus.
Oh, it's just like that song was like, yeah. And so then there was at some part where I like laid down on the ground.
And my God, that's right. It was great.
Horrible movie.
But we know time. It was so bad because our friend Brendan got up. And I thought he was just going to the bathroom. Right. And he was kind of gone for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if he texted us or we text him, like, where are you at?
I think we texted him.
But he was just like, it was so bad I had to leave. And he legit left and walked.
We thought he was joking, and then he sends us a picture of him outside. But I thought he told us later that, like, he just wanted to go outside to
right, and they wouldn't let him back in.
They wouldn't let him back in, which is so dumb. But
I also think at that point he was probably like, it's not even worth it to try. I'm
absolutely.
out. Yeah, and you're such a trooper because after that night, the next day,
the next night.
I don't know. It was my sister's poetry event, so we went to that the following night.
Yeah, and we drove there and... Yeah, talk about that a little bit on it. What were we there for?
My sister had a poetry event. She got invited to do some of her readings. It was, I really didn't know what it was until we got there, but it was kind of like a women empowerment. Like they had a couple different bands. I think it was 3 different bands that were actually really good.
They were women-led bands?
The venue was really nice. I will say the food was expensive. It was overly priced.
Yeah. Well, what you ordered was expensive. I ordered a brownie, and it was fine. Anyway.
But no, it was a nice little trek up there to Malibu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got to see her perform. That was the first time I've seen her perform, and it was great. But it was nice just to be out there and support, and then obviously not her, but just everything else that was going on that night.
Yeah, but like 2 nights in a row of just utter chaos. There it goes. Speaking of chaos, look at that. Unfortunately, so I have kind of sensory issues every now and then. So especially with loud noises, it's hard for me to I can't take it. So I have to step outside. Mm-hmm. And so unfortunately for most of it, I was outside. But what I did hear at the end, that last bit was really good too.
The performance?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
We got all that done in 2 days in a row. That's pretty fantastic. That's hard to do.
Yeah, and then the next day I was completely off. I didn't have anything obligated to do, and I didn't wake up until noon.
Oh my God!
I was so tired.
Oh well, we also have, of course, unfortunate sad news for one of our listeners, Brendan. His team, the Ravens, did not go forward toward to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's what we did on Sunday, right? Yeah, we basically just kept. I kept score. Well, I just wanted to see how this was going to go. It was either going to be great for his team, and I would.
I think you do something very interesting where when the Ravens lost, of course, you're poking at Brendan the whole time, you love seeing people in pain. But then sometimes, like yesterday, when I found out, we're not going to go into details of what happened, but. Brendan was going through something, and you were super there for them, there for him, and I was just like, "What? I've never."
I would also do the same for you.
That's true.
There's actually life things that happen where you're just like, "Dang!" I hope for more for this person. Yeah. But then there's other things that Okay, also I've been to a live football game with this person. I've seen how obnoxious he is.
Oh man.
And I get it. I love that type of stuff.
Like a Ravens game.
Yeah, we went to a Charger Ravens game.
Oh, wow.
And just again, we were there, and I knew he was going for the Ravens, so of course I'm going to go for the Chargers. And of course the Ravens won, and this guy kind of just ugh, whatever.
Held it over you for a while, huh?
I mean, it was his team, so he was happy. He had a really good time. He was screaming nonsense and walking up and down the stadium like he was going up and down the movie theater.
No way. Was he really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in our row, we were nosebleed. It was fine, but he was saying things, and I'm just like, all right. So of course, every now and then you just want to dig for other things. I want to make sure
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. But that whole time I texted him originally, and he had text back and was just he's like, don't, I forget what he said essentially.
When the Ravens lost?
Well, during the game.
Oh, during the game.
Yeah, I don't know if I was ooh, this is but essentially it was something that he did not like.
Oh.
And then I remembered I screenshotted you the score, and I'm like, I don't think he's happy right now.
Yeah, no. I was also, I wasn't watching the game because I don't watch football, but I did know that it was a big moment for Brendan. So I was keeping track of the score while watching TV or playing video games. I don't remember which one it was. And I was like, oh damn! It's the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left. I really doubt that they're going to be able to.
I mean, anything could have happened.
That's true.
But I knew it got to the point where I was like, maybe I shouldn't text him anymore. And I immediately texted our other friend, Mikey. And I was like, yo, explain to me exactly what it looks like right now.
Yeah. Paint me a picture. Yeah. Set the scene.
And it was so good. I'm like, does his hand look like Arnold? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Arnold with the fist. Oh my god.
But then they lost, and I don't think I reached out to him. I heard you, on the other hand.
I did.
Gave him a FaceTime call.
I did. So I FaceTimed him. He didn't answer, and I was like, okay, well, he's probably like right after they lost. And so I left him a FaceTime message.
Okay.
I was like, hey, Brendan, I hope you're doing well. All right. And like, I know the Ravens. I hope everything's okay. He calls me back like 10 minutes later. Hey, man. Hey, Brendan, how's it going, man? I'm sorry. How are things going? Not doing good, man. Like, I'm like, I was like, are you crying? Were you crying? He was like, yeah, man. It's over. Like the season is over. So I was like trying to be consoling, and well, I think at this time maybe we should just phone him in.
Yeah, should we? Yeah, let's see.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hi there.
Hey, Brendan, you are live.
Can I show this? Oh my gosh. Can I put this on? Can I show?
That's up to him. You can't ask me.
Can I? Is it okay to show what you look like on our YouTube channel? Okay, I just want to show real quick. Hold on.
Brendan, you are live on our podcast, The Sip and Truth. How's it going?
It's good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, bye. Oh, I do want to bring up one thing real quick. So I had the pleasure, I think I shared this with you. I'll put the video up because I've never been to Joshua Tree.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please. Tell me. I missed all of this, by the way. I don't know if it was because, I don't really hike, or if I don't like waking up early in the morning, or a combination of both, really.
Yeah, I don't know. But I was able to go for the first time because I've never been. And I know we've talked about it because
I've never been.
You've never been?
No.
Oh, I thought you have been.
No.
Okay, we don't need to talk about this then.
No, please do. I want to hear about it.
It was really good. We got to go then. Yeah. But I think we talked about this in our group of friends that were possibly thinking about camping. Mm-hmm. And I think we got to go out there for camping.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing. But we weren't sure if we were going to go or not because of the weather. It was raining the last few days before we went out. But we went, and we had a really good time. I almost got blown off the mountain because those winds were going crazy.
Yeah, you went during like a very interesting time.
It was weird because I think maybe the elevation changed. Mm-hmm. So I feel like for some trails it was colder, and then some trails it was not too bad, and then other ones were like directly in the sun. So it's just like you got the warmth of it. But there was one trail that I want to talk about. It was called the Hall of Horrors.
The Hall of Horrors?
Yes. I know, right?
That's kind of a weird for a trail. Hall
of Horrors.
Okay.
But I guess it would be different if you're there. When we go, you'll understand.
Okay.
And essentially, I think you make your own adventure of it, right? You can either stay on the trail and just enjoy a nice little casual hike.
Sure.
Or you can actually go and climb the rocks and decide if your life is worth it or not in that moment.
Well, oh my God. I got dark real quick, listeners.
So the people I was with, Brendan and our friend Mikey, and Brendan's just hopping from one, rock to another, and I'm like, with ease. His legs are also a little bit longer than mine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever, I can do this. So of course, I'm trying to get up to the top of the mountain as well. We see somebody up there, and we're just like, oh, we can probably go up there. We'll go up with them.
Yeah.
So me and Mikey are trying to figure out, okay, what's our path to get up there? Brendan's already up there. We finally get away, and I think at one point Brendan has to pull me up. He's like, I can get you. Let me just pull you up. And this whole time, I'm like, okay, it's kind of easy going up, but I'm like, I don't understand how I'm going to get back down. Oh, yeah. Whatever. I'll just worry about that when I get up there.
Oh, you thought, oh no.
So he's pulling me up. I'm jumping from these rocks, and then I get to a spot, and he's talking to me, and all I can think of, and as I'm in sheer paranoia, is I don't know how I'm going to get down. Really though, yeah. I was like, it's too steep for me to try to go down. I can't just walk down.
I could never. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What'd you do?
He kept talking to me, and I was really Brendan, I feel like you might have to call the National Park Service to get me and Mikey off this mountain.
My God.
I don't know. And this guy was just like, hey, did you guys figure out a way? And he's like, well, let me look. And he's just like, boom, boom, jumping, go. And I'm like, I can't. There's no way I can do this.
No.
So finally, thank goodness, Mikey was just like, there's this kind of path tunnel. If we shimmy our bodies underneath this boulder that at any moment can essentially come and just crush us, we can probably get down. Mm-hmm. So it was either that or Brendan was like, well, hey, if you slide down, if you catch your footing just right, you should be able just to stand up.
Nope.
I was like,
absolutely
if
not.
my footing doesn't catch, I'm going to slide off this mountain.
Oh, no.
I was
oh, God.
like, what am I going to do? So I was like, I'm just going to go the way Mikey did. I'll just shimmy my body. I just follow Mikey, and we literally just shimmied our body like underneath this rock to get down. And I did it, and I couldn't get off that mountain any quicker.
No, yeah, same. I once went hiking at Griffith Park, and hold on, what are you laughing at?
Because I'm thinking of like the trails at Griffith Park.
so there was a really, really steep hill. It was just after like a heavy rain type of deal, and then there was this one trail that was like super steep.
I think
now it's not like rocks and boulders, but it was like grass.
It's one
No. You're making no. Trust me. The person that I was with, you can ask Angelina about it.
Okay.
So it was like very, very steep. Like
I know which one you're talking about because there's three. There's the one, depending if you start on the bottom.
Yeah.
There's one on the right. There's the paved in the middle.
Yeah.
And then there's one where it's steep up, and then you kind of come down. Right?
I think, yeah.
No, you're right. Griffith does have some hard ones.
Oh, my God.
No, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
No!
I'll have to take you there. I'm going to take you there, and you're going to be like, wow, geez, Kanan, this is not bad at all.
No. And now that you talk about that, it was funny because I think one time when we weren't even living in LA, me and my younger sister, we came to hike Griffith.
Yeah.
And we had never been there before, and we didn't know what trail to take, and I think we went off trail, and we literally did this climb all the way up to the observatory. And people were like, where are you guys even coming from? There was we literally like were in the trenches, and we're just like, why is this so hard? We wanted to give up, but so yeah, I understand. I can
Sure.
see that.
Oh, thank you, Anna. That's very kind of you.
Okay, so some homework for us too.
Yeah.
That I think we should get into next is I think we go back and forth. I mean, we obviously have different tastes in movies, obviously.
Absolutely.
But things I want to see and you want to see. And I think one night, I was watching a movie. It was Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I think I had texted you, and I was like, oh, I'm watching this movie. You should watch it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a classic. I grew up on it. And I don't think you ever heard of it. And
No.
And you were basically just reciting the character, like, oh, Kathy Bates, this person. I'm like, oh, you got to watch it. And you were like, well, if I watch it, you got to watch Heavyweights.
Yes.
And
All
I'm
right.
like, what? I don't remember this.
So I didn't even watch this movie until...
How did that even come to mind when I said I'm watching Fried Green Tomatoes and you said, we got to watch Heavyweights?
Because we had a conversation... And it was about the Super Bowl with Brendan. I love how this all ties together. And then I sent you a video of Tony Perkins saying, "You're a negativity spreader."
Oh yeah, okay.
And then I was like, kind of gauging, like if you've seen that, and you're like, I don't. Where's this from?
Yeah.
So then that's kind of where that came from. So Heavyweights. I mean,
which I did, but it was so long ago. I barely remembered. But
I hadn't watched this movie till I was out of college at that point.
Okay.
Like it was like 2017, I think. Mm-hmm. And ever since I've seen that movie, I've watched it every year for like 3 times.
Oh, that's
in a
what
year,
you were saying.
at
Yeah,
least.
3 times. Yeah.
3 times in a year, and I'm like, Anna, I think there's a part of me like I could just tell that you would like the movie. Like I could just be like, there's so many scenes in this movie I think that you would get a chuckle out of.
Okay.
So tell me about your experience.
No, I think again, like, it's all nostalgia. As soon as it like came on, I'm like, oh my god, yeah! Like little bits and pieces were coming back to my memory.
He's in this.
Yeah, it was so good to see like the old school, like these characters.
Well, we got to set up this movie for those of you who haven't seen Heavyweights. So it is a movie about.
I couldn't. It's a Disney movie, and I couldn't believe some of these things that they were saying.
Right. So there was a specific time period in the Disney realm where anything could happen. This is in the 90s when Angels in the Outfield was coming out. These movies that were, yes, technically for kids and it's a family film, but still kind of unhinged in a random fun kind of how did they do this way. So Heavyweights is a story about a kid who is forced by his parents, more or less, to go to a fat camp. And he doesn't want to go, but then he ends up making a lot of great friends. And then right when camp's about to start, let's just say that the fat camp, it's not an actual fat camp when they get there. It's like they just have fun and they ride go-karts and it's like just kids hanging out.
Yeah.
You know? And then there's new ownership at the camp. And none of them know about it. And then it's the new camp owner is played by none other than Ben Stiller,
yes.
of course. And so he's like, I'm just going to say a quote from it, and then they'll understand. So Tony Perkins, he's introducing himself to these kids. He's like,
educated entirely by private tutors my whole life. I'm looking forward to interacting with children for the first time. I'm going to teach you. And I bet you might teach me a little something also.
You just stared at me. Kids.
I weighed 319 pounds.
I had bad skin. And he just goes, anyway. So it's a very fun, silly movie.
Yeah, it was honestly.
But there's some stuff in there that's very questionable. What do you think, Anna?
No, I think what sticks out to me the most that was great when they were trying to get their son to go to camp, or when they had them over to essentially put him in like this fat camp, and he's like
orientation.
Yeah. Well, no, like when he's talking to his family, like he's mouthing off to his dad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
they show the VHS at his house.
And then he just basically turns to his dad, and we're just like, why am I going? Like, you're fatter than I am.
Fatter than I am. What? Oh my God.
Like, oh my God.
And so this is a movie about like, yes, all the kids are fat and they enjoy it. Like they're like okay with who they are, and it coming to that acceptance.
Body positivity.
Body positivity in the best way.
Yes.
So that's what I really enjoy about the film.
Yeah.
And also that they're just kind of ridiculous.
It was good. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Would I watch it again? I'm probably not again this year.
You've reached your cap for the year. I would say I would watch it again and like with a group. I think I watch it with a group, and if we were like Mean Girlsing it.
Oh, okay,
that's
gotcha.
Gonna be a new verb.
Fishbowls and edibles.
Yeah, fishbowls
Got
and edibles,
it.
heavyweights, sure.
Got it.
But then, of course, I had to hold up my end of the deal.
Yes.
Because Anna was like, all right, I watched heavyweights. It's your turn. So we put on literally last night, Fried Green Tomatoes. So the movie...
Essentially loving yourself.
Sure.
Loving the people around you.
And murder is sometimes okay, I guess.
The secret's in the sauce.
Oh, God. I can't believe they Sweeney Todded it. And I kind of called it. Oh, sorry, I don't want to spoil it.
But what a good way to start the beginning of it with a murder.
Right.
Like, it was going to be good.
Absolutely. So
and tragedy. 2 seconds into it, you're like, what is this?
Right. So it stars Kathy Bates. You think it's going to be focused on her character, and it's not. Well, it's kind of. It does this flash back, flash forward, kind of like the Notebook type of deal. And so Kathy Bates, I don't even know how she gets acquainted with the old lady.
They're visiting the husband's, like somebody in the family that's in there.
Right.
The home that they're visiting. So that's why they're there. And obviously that family member doesn't like or remember her and is like throwing stuff at her to get her out of the room.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, I guess I'm just going to go hang out in like the common area. And that's where she finds her friend.
She finds this...
Ninny.
Ninny, exactly. And it is, so Ninny, it's like one of these, when I was a young girl, and then it flashes back to this whole story. And so, I mean, I don't really want to spoil it, but it was...
You can spoil it if you haven't seen it yet.
I am just kind of upset.
Why are you upset?
Because it's clearly a love story between two friends.
Yes.
And
And that's what you wanted the whole time.
I wanted there to be a romance because I was just like, yes, like she married a fucking creep, which I called out right away.
Oh yeah.
When the guy's like,
immediately.
He's like giving the eyes at Ed. What's her name?
Iggy. Oh my God, I'm getting Ninny Iggy.
He's giving the eyes at Iggy in like in a really creepy way, and it's like she got out of that marriage. I don't even know if they got divorced. They just separated,
Probably,
right?
yeah.
And so I'm like, yes, and like they're there to support each other and they're having fun and they're like they're best friends, and I'm like, I just wish that and because this was made, when was it made?
1991.
1991.
Yeah.
What year did Heavyweights come out?
Oh my God.
I'm just curious.
1995.
Whoa, hey.
Okay, it's
we were watching 90s
yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish they would have been brave enough, but it seemed like it was more like a
But it's also, I think, like I told you, it's up to you.
Interpretation.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the ending wasn't really clear. Like you're like, oh no, it has to be there. Or it has to be.
Yeah,
and
the old lady has to be the one telling the story.
You were coming up. Oh, she must. You were coming up all sorts of story. Like what would have happened? You're like, yes, I think she maybe lost her memory, and then she thinks and that.
Oh, she could have dementia. I didn't.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
But yeah, I went down like a whole rabbit hole, and that's where everyone thought they were. Like, and there's a book, and I don't know if in the book they actually did talk about more of that relationship, and maybe they were something.
Yeah.
But because when it was made, it just wasn't something that they wanted to explore.
Now, Anna was telling me that it was like a tearjerker, and I think, unfortunately, because 39 minutes left of the movie, we get a FaceTime call from B. Brendan and his,
yeah,
the way that he's looking. And it kind of distracted, but I was more frustrated at the ending than anything. Like I was still really sad because I was like, come on, can't they just be happy together? And like Ruth, she had it bad, man.
Yeah.
She just had bad thing after bad thing. First off, Ruth is in love with this guy,
Chris
Olsen.
Olsen.
God, yeah, Chris O'Donnell, right?
O'Donnell.
Yeah, Chris O'Donnell.
Oh my God, I get everybody wrong.
What did you say?
Olsen.
Chris Olsen? No, definitely not Chris Olsen. Like, she's in love with this guy at the beginning of the movie. 5 minutes in the movie, and he dies from
that's why you're
hit
like,
by a train. And I'm like, there's no
also,
way.
but do you know after that, because where we grew up and lived, there was train tracks all around us. That's what I was definitely afraid of. Like
No
I always
way.
thought
Yeah.
that if I step or get near one, what if my shoe gets stuck?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be wearing a boot that is laced all the way up to my knee. But
Right.
I'm like, I was so scared of that.
So Ruth, she was in love with this guy. He dies in the first few minutes. Then later, like, apparently a couple years go by, but this other little girl grows up to be an adult, but Ruth is still the same age somehow. Then, so Ruth gets married to this guy. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know why. But then he's really abusive, and it's just not a good relationship. And then, like, she's pregnant, and she's like, I got to get out of here. And then, luckily, Iggy is there, like, her best friend.
Yeah.
And, like, helps her, like, get away from her husband. And then, of course, she has the kid, and her husband comes back, tries to take her, and then some stuff happens. Some murder maybe happens. But then, Ruth, you're like, okay, some things bad happens. Maybe she can... No, because then her son, like...
Oh, yeah. Remember when you thought...
Oh, my God.
And you're like, no.
They did that on purpose.
No.
They crushed me.
But it was also a good moment. Because then, that's what I'm saying, you get pulled into like, oh, my God, yeah.
Not another thing.
But then
or her son is hanging out in the train tracks like he
Yeah.
didn't learn anything from your... freaking the guy that she was originally in love with, and he gets his arm cut off from the train. How does that even happen? Did he like fall?
Maybe the train, or maybe he fell in the train. I don't know.
Oh my God! So her original love dies in the first 5 minutes. She gets married to an asshole, and then later, abusive guy. And then her son's arm gets cuts off, and then guess what they do in the last 20 minutes of the film? She gets fucking cancer. She gets cancer. And I'm like, I understand that happens in real life, and it is very unfortunate. I just hate that, like, so many bad things happen to her. It's like she did not deserve that. So I was really heartbroken in that way. Like, there's, like, when people, and I know not every life is perfect, and not everybody gets away scot-free, but it's just like they deserve so much better.
Yeah.
And, So, watch Fried Green Tomatoes on Netflix.
On Netflix.
On Netflix.
It's there. It just got added, so it's going to be there for a while, so you should definitely check it out. Oh. And then you can always email us at thesipandtruth@gmail.com and let us know what you thought.
Yeah, and tell us what you think who you think the old lady is. Is the old lady Iggy? Is she her own entity that somehow... I wish she would have been like, That's me. I'm that little girl right there. That's all that they need.
Yeah,
to
but
do.
there is a lot of things that don't. It doesn't make sense or add up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Kathy Bates like
Kathy-
finding herself.
Yes. That's the other thing. So throughout this whole story, Kathy Bates is like, she's in a failed marriage and she doesn't know what to do, and it almost seems like
Well, she doesn't feel good about herself. She doesn't
Right.
feel like she has a voice.
Yeah.
And she's going and hearing these stories about like these like women that are doing all these things, and then she's turning around and using that.
Yeah.
Like her husband doesn't want to have dinner with her. She cooks all day.
Yeah.
For a nice meal
He always
to sit
complains
down.
about something. and
Yeah.
he's always like, "Ooh."
He wants to eat essentially a piece of chicken and watch the game and not talk to her.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
What would you do if you came home and I was wrapped in cellophane?
Oh,
What would you? Yeah, so she like gets motivated throughout the whole film while we're learning about the story, and
Yeah.
she's learning about the story at the same time. She's like,
Oh, it was great.
yeah, and then she rams into that car in the parking lot, and then she says, "What did she say?"
Like I have better insurance or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. You
yeah,
might be
something.
younger, but I got better
yeah,
insurance.
yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Oh,
She figured it out. I'm glad. And her and Ninny get to live together. Yeah, I'm so glad you watched it.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we should do? You should also send an email or send us a message on what movie we should watch next.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you think?
Yeah.
Movie recommendation?
Can we talk one quick second about
Sure.
the Dune popcorn bucket?
What do you want to know? And why do you want to know why I
Okay,
have 5 at home?
That's
Nope.
you've answered enough.
Nope. I have not seen Dune. Like, I haven't seen the originals. I haven't seen the
Okay.
new ones. I know nothing about
Okay,
Dune. All I
so-
know is that they put stuff in their nose. So that's it.
Stuff in their nose.
Yeah, don't they have that like
Oh,
thing
that
in their
little
nose?
thing. Yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure we're probably all gonna watch the second one. Maybe.
You know what I should do? I should go in. I should watch it with y'all and just not know anything about it, and be like, oh, and try to make
Yeah.
sense of it. See if it holds on its own. as a
Gotcha.
film.
I think it
So,
might.
what about this popcorn bucket?
Have you not seen it?
Oh, I've seen it.
The wormhole.
The orifice.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! But I also heard when people have put their hand in it to get the popcorn out,
Yeah.
it because of how it's made, like all the popcorn falls out. Like you can't really grab any popcorn out of it.
What is the intention of this?
I
Who
don't
made
know.
this?
I don't know.
What?
It's so strange.
You know what?
Looking.
AMC has made some really interesting popcorn buckets in their time. I remember that there was, like when the Marvels came out recently, there was like that weird like egg thing with the cats, and
Did
there
you
was
not-
like a cat inside.
you didn't get that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not. Now when Barbie came out, they have some really good ones. When the Barbie came out, they had a whole
Oh, the
freaking
Cadillac
car.
thing?
Yeah,
That
I
was-
bought that. I have it in my room.
Why?
At home.
Stop.
Because
If I was with you, I would have said we don't need it.
but but the Barbies that I have, they sit in the car.
What Barbies do you have?
I own like 4 or 5 Barbies from watching that film. I bought some Barbies of my own.
From that film, you've bought Barbies of your own.
Right. Since watching that film, I bought
Okay,
my own
so
Barbies.
let me guess.
Okay.
But are they from the movie?
No,
Ah,
they're not
then-
from the movie.
Then never mind. I'll never guess.
Well, one of them technically is.
Alan.
No, I
Dang.
don't know. It's just the Margot Robbie Bobby. Margot Robbie Bobby. Margot Robbie Barbie. Yeah, just because it's a whole thing. But like, growing up, I was never like, my sisters had Barbies, but I was never, so
Gotcha.
I did some self-healing in that
Gotcha, okay.
time. A lot of us did,
Yeah.
and there was a TikTok craze where people were buying Barbies for their moms and they were buying them for themselves. And like, I'm going to do that.
good for
I have
you.
a Barbie from the year I was born. And
Okay.
it's very 90s. You can tell because
Oh,
it's
I
like,
think we need to upload these pictures for everybody to see.
I don't know if I feel comfortable. Well, you know what? Why not? Why
No,
not?
if you don't feel comfortable,
No, I'm sharing.
Maybe
I'm
just
sharing
one.
a bit of myself. I'm sharing parts of myself that are maybe questionable. But
yeah, I'll
it's fine.
share something.
What are you gonna share?
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have any.
I don't have
Barbies.
anything like that to share.
That's okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to see them. Before we post them, I just want to see them.
Okay, that's fair.
I might want to see them in person though.
My Barbie's in person.
Yeah, like so you have 2 in the car?
I think I have 4 in the car. I have 1 driving.
Okay.
One in the passenger
Got
seat.
it,
But
okay.
one of them I thought was a life size, but it was like actually like a small, and I was like, well, they're sitting in the back seat then.
Life size?
Not like.
And then you talk about a lot about me, like, poking at Brendan,
You think I poke at people? Who do I poke at?
No, I say you talk a lot about
Yeah,
me
yeah,
poking at people, and I just find it funny. So these guys, You know, I always like to include my friends for the most part. Like, if I'm going to stop somewhere and maybe get something that's tasty, like a tasty treat, I want to make sure that you guys can also partake in that, you know?
Oh, you're talking about...
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, because Brendan and Kanan like to leave me out of a lot of things when they do things. Like when they want to go to Dunkin' Donuts or...
I never go to Dunkin' with Brendan.
No, but there's a text message thread that I'm not included on that I have to hear it from you.
But
well, I'm included on that one now.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, so I'm like, I'm going to be nice. Like, I've really been craving these because I've seen it. I've been to this place before, Community Goods. There's these breakfast sliders that I kept seeing all over my feed. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to treat myself today. I'm going to go right before work, and I'm going to see if Kanan and Brendan and my friend Ari would like some breakfast sliders.
RJ
is mean.
RJ is mean.
I'm like, let me see. And I think I knew already he was working. So I text Brendan. Brendan's like, I'm good. Thank you, though. I'm like, okay, cool. I knew you weren't going to be up, but I thought I'd try.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Kanan, are you awake? No response. Okay, cool. I called Ari. Ari, hey, I'm going to go here. They have some really good breakfast sliders. He's like, yeah, give me that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool.
You could have called me. That was your mistake. You should have called me because the vibration would have probably woken me up. Anyway, go on.
Oh, okay. So now this is my fault. No. So me and my sister go, we get these breakfast sliders, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't wait to have them. And I send a picture to you guys because I'm like, you guys missed out. Brendan obviously didn't want any.
Right.
You woke up late. You literally text me as I'm already driving out of the area.
I woke up at 9 and I saw it straight away. Yeah.
And I was literally pulling away, and I'm like, sorry, dude, I got breakfast sliders. You're like, ooh. I'm like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And I was really contemplating going back, but there was a line, so I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I got to get to work. So I go, send a picture. And Brendan's like, oh, maybe I wish I would have got him.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you know what? Don't worry, guys. I got you. I'm going to go back there again. I'm going to get some just so you guys can have and indulge in this.
Yeah, and I said, thank you, Anna.
Yeah.
And then Brendan was like, Brendan said something.
I don't know.
He said something along the same lines of like, thank you.
And then, wouldn't you know? I mean, enjoy. What? Do you have something to say?
My perspective?
Okay. No, not yet. No. You can,
okay.
Not yet. So,
you don't get the privilege of shit. All right.
No. So we're, doing our thing. We're at work. And all of a sudden, I see these two guys, Brendan and Kanan, walking in. And the smiles or grins on your faces. And I look down, and in your hands, you guys are holding the same breakfast slider box that I just brought in. And I'm like, what? And you're like, and you guys are just laughing. You're like, we stopped and got them. Yeah. I'm like, screw you guys. Get out of here.
Oh, my God. All right.
So, Kanan, tell me how this...
There's always two sides to every coin.
No, but you know what was even funnier? Actually, now that I think about this. So, I say hi to you guys or whatever. I'm like, whatever. And you guys are still walking together, holding it. And Ari is, essentially, he's at a table or whatever. And I just see, it was great, because I just see his head go like this. Looked to see that you guys were coming, peripheral. Looked, and then was like, and then just watched you guys.
I missed that. I didn't see that.
And I'm like, I know Ari freaking clocked that. He clocked it.
Oh, my God. So, from my end, I get this text at 9 a.m. when I wake up. Technically, it was at 8 o'clock in the morning, but first off, why are you going at 8 o'clock? I don't know. Why not? Yeah. Because you have work in the morning. That's fine. That's fair. So I get this text, and I'm like, oh, man, I missed out on these breakfast sliders. I'm looking on your Instagram. I'm looking at the producer's Instagram, and, it looks really good, these burger sliders. And you sent a text to the both of us. So I text Brendan on the side, and I'm like, hey, I think it'd be really funny if... Exactly,
on the side, right? Not on the group chat.
Right. Not on the group chat, on the side. I'm like, Brendan, I think it'd be really funny if I went to the same place and got the same sliders, and we walked in together. And he's like, dude, let's fucking do it. So he wasn't able to meet up with me. Mm-hmm. But luckily, I left early so I could go. And so I get there at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I order these sliders. Right. And so... I wanted the presentation to be perfect because I'm like, I know Anna's already at work. So I'm like, Brendan, we need to coordinate and actually like walk in together holding our own individual sliders. So this is like a pre-planned thing by me. Because like I showed up, he was going to be like right on time, like 10:50. He worked at 11. And so
this had to be perfect because how would you didn't know where I was going to be. What if I wasn't even there, or what if I was in the bathroom, or what if I had stepped out? Then it wouldn't have. Yeah. It was just everything was just
right place,
me.
right time. So I meet up with Brendan in the parking lot at 10:50 in the morning, and I hand him something else, which we'll get maybe another time. But then I hand him his, and we're like, all right, let's do this. So we both walk in, and so I'm like, oh, I'm going to actually be eating one while I'm walking in.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Right in the face. But I didn't think any ill intent of oh, I'm going to make Anna so mad. I was just I think it'd be really funny if if Anna offered to get us these sliders and then, it
was almost I don't need you to get me sliders. I can get them myself.
Anna, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. It was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
We walk in and she's like, oh, you, it's just this, you suck. Oh, yeah, that was the look on Anna's face I could never forget.
How were the sliders?
Oh my God, they were incredible. I was expecting it to be the actual burger in there, but no, it was egg and cheese and whatever that spicy.
The little spicy sauce, right?
The spicy.
So good.
So good.
Just so you guys know, if you guys go.
It's $10.
Yes, it was $10.
4 sliders.
4 sliders with 2 sauces.
Yeah.
It just comes with egg and cheese.
Right.
And then you have that option to add bacon and avocado.
Yeah.
So I don't eat meat. I just put the avocado, which was so great, but the bacon, avocado.
So that's so funny. I had just bacon, and then Brendan had bacon and avocado.
Got
so
it.
we kind of.
Okay.
You got one, I got one, he got both. Yeah, and it was.
It was so good. It was filling. It was perfect.
And it's a nifty little shop too, because you can also buy stuff. You can buy art supplies there. You can buy pencils.
Community goods.
Yeah, you can buy Japanese barbecue sauce and some other
It's a little hype beast coffee shop. It's really good.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it if you can go.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm gonna end on this.
Yes.
I want this to live forever on this podcast, this story, because the imagery in my mind, you'll never be able to see it. But so there was one day a group of us went to Universal Studios.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a point where not a lot. Some of you haven't been there before, and I recommended. I was like, "Let's go to Waterworld."
Oh my God.
So they're like, "Yeah, what the hell's that?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's like a stunt show. It's really fun." But I did not want to give anything away.
It was 2 people that didn't go, that had never been. I think it was Brendan and Mikey.
Yeah. So I didn't want to give anything away. So I think the unwritten rule is to, if you're doing Waterworld, to not explain anything about it and just have them experience it.
Yeah.
So we all sit in the front bleachers.
Yeah.
I made sure of it that we sat in the front. Down right beside this area. And you walk in and it's beautiful. It's whoa, look at these set pieces. What's going on here? And so we all sat together, even though the people who had already been there, they know what's up.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Waterworld, it's a stunt show, but also water is very, very prevalent in the show. You'll get wet if you're sitting in the right spots.
You're asking for it.
And I made sure that we were sitting in those exact right spots. So I'm sitting down. I have Brendan on my right, and I think I had some people on my left as well.
Maybe, yeah. I think I was behind. I was behind you
because you knew what was going to happen.
I used you as a shield.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and Brendan's right beside me. I think Mikey might have been on his right or maybe on my left. I don't remember. But anyway, so it's pre-show, so they're walking out to the crowds, and we see somebody. See somebody with one of those tubes,
right?
And they go by a barrel. They fill it up with water, but Brendan doesn't know what they're doing. So then they walk up. They walk up to right in front where we are on the side, and they're like, "Who's first time? Who's never been here to Waterworld before?" Brendan raises his hand, and the comedic timing. He raises his hand. They point the gun directly at him and unload the full tube of water directly on him. So I'm watching this right beside me. He raises his hand without a comedic beat. And then Brendan just soaked. We have a picture of that somewhere because I remember afterwards, his entire back was drenched.
Oh yeah, I think I took a picture of his backside and just his. Everything on the back was just wet.
That was one of my favorite moments when I first really bonded with Brendan for the very first time. And it was just something that I always remember in my head of just imagining that. So imagine that in your heads. It was
He set it up. It was good. That was actually a good time.
Yeah.
We need to do an amusement park sometime.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I think we definitely reached, it's been over an hour.
We did it.
We definitely have some cutting down to do.
Yeah.
But thank you all for listening. I don't know. I hope you found something informative out of this. And we have, what do you think, Anna?
Well, I think they do. I think they know that to go to Community Goods for breakfast sliders.
For sure.
I think they knew not to go for the Ravens.
Don't watch Mean Girls.
Don't watch Mean Girls. Enjoy a fishbowl at the cantina that's at the Grove.
Yeah.
Uriel, if he's your server, he's amazing.
Yeah. Shout out to Uriel again.
Yeah. If you can, take a trip to Joshua Tree.
Watch Fried Green Tomatoes and Heavyweights if you can. Do a double feature.
Of course. If you go watch Dune, make sure to get the popcorn.
Oh, God.
Bucket.
Yeah, send us a picture. Send us a picture of your popcorn buckets when you get them. We definitely,
because we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
I'll make sure if we go that I get you the popcorn.
There you go.
Yeah.
And suggest a movie for us to maybe watch. Yeah.
That'd be great.
New or old, it's fine.
Yeah. Any horror movies, I think Kanan would love to see. So if you have any cult classics we can get into.
All right. Well, thank you all. Episode 4 in the books. We'll try to have our next episode up a little bit sooner.
Oh, we got some great
5.
things coming up. I'm excited. We do have some good things coming up in a few days.
In a few days? What are we doing?
We have our Tuesday event.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah.
As of confirmed of tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening, and have a great rest of your week, everybody.